Hello everyone, my name is Chris. Season 2 of the finals has coming to an end, and I decided to make a all-weapon tier list based on my 1000 hours of playing ranked, scrims and tournaments with and against best players in the world. Let's get started. AKM is an absolute S-tier weapon. It can be played both in double heavy medium composition, double medium heavy, or heavy medium light. You tend to shift your attention from being another element of a system that does damage to a person that is playing a support role, to a person that is breaking utility, whether it's going to be mesh shield, bubble, turret, mines, C4s, or any other thing that you can break. You are here to apply consistent poke damage, quickly switch back to heal beam, heal your teammates, and apply pressure again. In comparison with the FCAR that you shoot 20 bullets and now you have to be stuck in a very long reload animation. Do I feel like AKM is better than FCAR in the current state of the game? I don't know. It's gonna be greatly dependent on your playstyle. It's gonna be greatly dependent on your ability to aim and ability to risk your life for the sake of your team, in a sense that if you are playing an AKM, would you consider off-angling? Would you consider yourself another solo carry in the team and play 1+1+1? Probably not. But if you are playing FCAR, would you consider sitting passively behind your heavy and staring at bubbles, meshes, turrets that you cannot reliably break without reloading again? Well, these are the playstyles that are drastically different, and the strength of the weapon is gonna be unleashed only if you are ready to accept the playstyle, right? So if you are an aggressive player, of course this weapon is not going to be for you. But if you are a player that likes to take care, that likes to heal, this is going to be absolute best choice for you as a medium. You can check my videos on AKM on my channel. I have a lot of information about how to position yourself, how to choose the correct targets to shoot, when to heal. Like, I covered pretty much everything you need to know. LH1 is going to be placed at the bottom of A tier, and I was thinking about the reasons why a weapon that was once so powerful and played by a lot of cracked lights now is pretty mediocre, very much of a fraction of the former self. And then I realized that a single change in a single gadget of a heavy class completely turned the tides against this weapon. Can you actually guess what this is? What is the gadget of a heavy class that turned LH1 from being an absolute best to a very mediocre, difficult to use weapon? And the answer is barricades. The fact that you can respond by using a mesh shield, bubble, and a barricade is very deadly for LH1 users, because if you fundamentally look at the nature of the weapon, you want to position yourself so you are at an off angle, you are shooting and applying consistent pressure to mediums and lights. But now, not only that everyone is playing double heavy, not only everyone is playing double barricade, double bubble, double mesh, and double Lewis gun, and not only they can defend themselves effectively against your LH1, but they can also shoot back, which is absolutely unheard of. Because if you would look at the meta at the end of Season 1, at the start of Season 2, or in the middle of Season 2, a lot of people were running heavy, medium, light, a lot of people were running double heavy, but they were playing shotgun and without barricades, so you would have an easier time glitching them, easier time applying consistent pressure to their HP pool in comparison with their effective HP pool. There is a difference, right? Let me elaborate the effective HP pool thing. You have mesh, bubble, barricade, natural cover, heal from your medium, and all of that contributes to your effective HP. A very good heavy player is gonna have more than 1000 effective HP a fight, meaning that you would have to consistently break your positioning, you have to commit, you have to waste your resources, utility just to Like, it's very difficult, and if you've played against cracked heavy players, you realize that it is impossible to kill them. They are so freaking strong, they are so freaking tanky, always receiving heals, always playing natural cover, always getting great usage of their mesh, bubble, and barricade, and they always shoot back, so there is like, they're flawless. What are you gonna do? And then of course, the last nail in the coffin was the glitch change, where it went from 10 seconds to 5 seconds. So now you shoot it, bro just places a barricade beforehand, and he hides behind it for 5 seconds, and you are completely useless. You cannot destroy barricades reliably, you cannot glitch barricades, there is nothing you can do, and at the end of the day, at some point, you would have to close up the distance to an enemy, and when that happens, you fail miserably, because LH1 is terrible at up close. You're just gonna lose fights to FCAR, you're gonna lose fights to shotgun, you're gonna lose fights to model 1887, you're gonna lose fights to AK, like, everything pretty much destroys you, not because you have bad time to kill on a weapon, but rather because opponents have a faster time to kill on you, because of, again, you have less effective HP, and it's a lot harder for you to use this weapon, because, like, imagine hip firing on AK from 2 meters versus hip firing on LH1 from 2 meters. Not only you need to have great FPS, not only you need to have extraordinary mechanical aim, but also you need to get a great position and engage timing, and this is like very ugly, very difficult, and this is why LH1 is not as good as it was before. CL40 is fundamentally a terrible weapon. You cannot reliably apply pressure to enemies from the distance, and up close there is a chance that you're gonna hurt yourself more than you hurt other people, and it is projectile based, meaning that it's always going to be unreliable, and it's always going to lose against projectiles, or excuse me, against hit scan. There was a moment at the end of season 1, if you remember that, where there was a bug where CL40 could pierce explosives through shields. I would place this weapon at the top of A tier back then, but since they nerfed the bug, there is nothing to talk about. CL40 is just a very, very mediocre weapon, and if you would fundamentally look at the nature of a medium, you need to apply as much pressure to utility and enemies as you possibly can, switch back to heal, apply more pressure, switch back to heal, apply more pressure. FCAR is great for that, model is great for that, or you need to get close and kill people with model 1887. None of these things are going to be great for you with CL40. Like, the second you want to close up the distance, you're just gonna shoot yourself again. Like, this is very unreliable, very, very, very bad weapon for you. Highly advise you not to play it. In my 1000 hours of playtime, I have never seen a single person dominate on a Riot Shield. This weapon is toothless, this weapon is absolutely useless and utterly disgustingly terrible when it comes to your ability to apply pressure, possess a threat. So when was the last time you are shooting a person with a shield and he's closing up the distance and you're like, uh-oh, this guy's closing up the distance, there is no way I can run away? No, you just turn around, you press W, press shift, or if you have auto run, you just press W and you run away from the person. There is no way he can catch you. And then if you're in a close quarter environment, yeah, sure, a shield can do the magic, but then again, you can throw the cache away with gas barrel to the open. There is so many things you can do in order to make the life of a shield guy miserable. This is probably the worst weapon you can possibly think of as a medium, because again, it's just, why is it even in the game? I honestly have absolute zero clue. On the other hand, another melee weapon, Sword, is going to be better than LH1. Yes, I said it. It's easier to use, and if you are using an animation cancel, if you are using weapon swap with this weapon, you are going to abso-freaking-lutely dominate, especially lobbies that are not diamond level. People have no idea how to, like, I consider myself a world-class aimer, and I constantly play with players that have extraordinary high level of mechanical aim, and all of us, I mean, all of us are struggling with sword players. It is incredibly difficult to track them. You need to have great FPS, great refresh rate on your monitor. You need to have insane aim, positional awareness. Like, it is. I have PTSD from like remembering how many times I got absolutely destroyed by a sword class. It is insane. Like, and I did a few videos on my channel where I would just 1 versus 3 people on a sword on a light class, which was very unheard of. It takes 3 right clicks to kill a heavy, 2 right clicks to kill medium, and 1 right click and a melee to kill a light, and it is an instant. There is nothing you can do. Yes, you can end up in a situation where you can get shot by other player while you are assassinating the first one, but again, like, this is insane, man. Sword is absolutely mind-blowing how good of a weapon this is. Insane, incredible, absolutely freaking insane. And if you learn how to use it, well, you're gonna become unstoppable. On the other hand, Dagger is a very mediocre weapon. If you are not hitting right clicks from the back, people right click you from the back yourself. I mean, they buffed it a little bit, and it is fundamentally terrible. Not only it forces you to play with dashes, but you just don't have enough mobility to like hypercompensate for your lack of HP, for your squishiness, for your easy to hit model when you are not dashing around like a madman with a sword, right? The dagger does not allow you to launch forward. It is just pretty bad. Yes, you can one-tap heavies with right click and then melee, but at the end of the day, how realistic it is for you to do that, right? So you just end up in a situation where you fail miserably and there is nothing you can do about it. Dagger is a C-tier weapon at best. XP54, absolute S tier, hands down better than AKM, and yes, this is absolutely the only option for light class in the current state of the game if you want to maximize your win rate, KD, performance, and if you don't want your teammates to think that you are an idiot and throwing. XP54 is great at pretty much every single range in the game. You can clip people across the map, you can clip people mid-range, you can clip players close range. 1 mag is going to destroy a heavy player if you are close to him. And in combination with stun gun, glitch grenade, and a teleporter, you have the perfect, absolute best meta build for the light class. You have the ability to cancel cash out, you have the ability to stun heavy player, and if he pulls up the mesh shield, you're just gonna glitch him immediately and he's gonna be so slowed that he would not be able to run away, react, and stuff like this. This weapon is great for off-angling, this weapon is great for playing with your teams and receive healing by your medium. This weapon is just beautiful. It has been an absolute meta for light since release, and hands down the most satisfying weapon to use. Like, when you are one clipping enemies, you know that you are a really good player, you know that you are a really good aimer if you can like reliably destroy with single mag on XP54. Great weapon, absolute S tier. SR84, mediocre, very mediocre. Sniper rifle, nothing I can say about it. It's super situational. You can use it on certain maps and game modes, but then again, how reliable it is against double heavy when you have to close the distance eventually, how reliable it is against players that are not picking you like idiots, how reliable it is against players that are aware and not bots. No, absolutely not. You can definitely play it on Skyway, you can definitely play it on Duck and Cover Monaco, you can definitely play it on Las Vegas Sandstorm maybe, but outside of that, very bad weapon. Highly advise you not to play it if you want to maximize your win rate and KD. Flamethrower, interesting, very interesting. So I want to say that Flamethrower is A tier because it's like, okay, hear me out on this one. Flamethrower is easier than sword, it's easier than LH1. Thus, it's better because you're gonna have more value. Like, you can play it on controller. My 12-year-old sister that never touched mouse and keyboard in her life in FPS title can pick up Flamethrower in a few days and she's gonna dominate with it, right? It's super easy, it's idiot proof, you cannot go wrong with it, you can pierce enemies, and if you are playing in a close quarter environment where people have to push you, you are going to destroy lights. They're just being completely cooked alive. You are going to dominate mediums that are trying to confront you, and yes, opponents are gonna run away from you, but realistically, how far they can run when the clock is ticking, right? If you have the initiative, or if you're trying to steal the cash out, like, they would eventually have to come back, and then you are here to confront them with the flames of the dragon, the legendary ones. So Flamethrower, A tier, I said it. Blame me for that, tell me that I'm an idiot, I wouldn't change my opinion. I am very much glad that this weapon is gutted to death. Remember the release of the finals where you can get double tapped as a heavy by a double barrel? Fun times, very fun times. Like this. This weapon is so utterly disgusting. There is nothing good I can say about it. It deserves to die. Please never buff this weapon again. Developers, don't make the same mistake. My favorite weapon, shotgun. Is it better than all of them? Yes, it is an S tier weapon right now. At the mid-season 2, bro, there was a patch where they nerfed heavy, they nerfed shotgun, and people were playing heavy, medium, light only. This was the most fun, interesting, skill-dependent meta we've ever experienced in our lifetime. There was no better meta than this. And then what they do? They buffed Barricade and they nerfed Light. And now we are experiencing the worst meta with 8 barricades, with 2 Lewis guns, double mesh, double bubble, double RPG. Beautiful. Like, this is so unfun to play. And yes, shotgun is very much viable. It is incredibly viable on maps and game modes that you have to close the distance for. It is incredibly nice when you want to jump on people and you want to play for closing up the distance, because again, at the end of the day, no matter how much you want to play from range, there are so many off angles they can take. There are so many lines of sight. And what makes you think that, okay, so let's say that my team is defending the cash out. What is your plan with the Lewis gun? How do you steal the cash out from me in a building? Okay, so you're like, yes, I'm gonna play range. How do you play range in a building? Impossible. Maybe you create an off angle by blowing up the roof and looking at the cash out from below. Well, Sherlock, I have a problem for you. If you look at the cash out, you will never be able to steal it. You have to commit, and when you commit, I am going to destroy you with a shotgun. Whether you're playing Lewis gun, whether you're playing Flamethrower. So this is like a dilemma, right? Lewis gun is great, yes, but if you are an extraordinary aimer. Shotgun is great, yes, because it's a bulletproof idiot weapon. And the problem with shotgun, the only problem with shotgun, is the fact that you have to commit too much. And if you commit too much, you're gonna die, but because like it's a high risk, high reward weapon where like you can destroy 3, or you can die like an idiot and a person you killed gets defeated and now you're in a disadvantage because your teammates are far behind you, right? So I think that shotgun is the best heavy weapon in the game right now. I think it's the best one because like if you change your playstyle to the point where you are always jump padding on players, where you are consistently going for you know, like when you are consistently going for closing up the distance in comparison with playing range, you will end up in a situation where you are constantly killing Lewis gun players because they cannot do anything up close. This has been the problem since release, and yes, heavy shotgun is still great. It's a lot harder to one-clip players with 4 bullets before the small reload, but still absolute best weapon. Lewis gun, definitely better than XP54, definitely better than AKM, and great on open maps such as Skyway, like if you would fundamentally look at the geometry of certain maps and cash outs, if you remember the cash outs that you usually hold on Skyway, people can play range on Skyway. People can play range on stuff like Las Vegas Sandstorm. People can play range on certain cash outs on Duck and Cover Monaco, where you can have garden cash outs, where you can have cash outs in the middle of the map, where you can throw away cash outs. So I'm not saying that you will always lose with a Lewis gun against a shotgun user. All I'm saying is that if you adapt your playstyle, if you throw away the cash out with a gas barrel in the open, yes, you're gonna have easier time killing people with a Lewis gun. But if you are forcing yourself to play close quarter environment, you are going to lose to Flamethrower, you are going to lose to shotgun, and more importantly, you are going to lose to yourself, because your biggest enemy is not the players that you are playing with, is you weak, is you unwarmed up, is you lazy that didn't spend 10 minutes in aim trainers a day to improve your tracking. It lazy you that didn't specify how you want to play with your teammates, and now you're just stuck there like an idiot, playing like an idiot. So Lewis gun is a great weapon, yes, absolute S tier. Can you use it to the full potential? Probably not. Like if you are below Diamond 2 level, yes, you're gonna have kills, but outside of the potential of the weapon, no, absolutely not. So shotgun is going to be better, Flamethrower is even going to be better for you in that case, especially if you are not good at aiming. M60 is going right here. I feel like M60 is better than Flamethrower. I really do, but it's worse than a Lewis gun, because people are like, okay, so the biggest misconception that people have in the finals community is like, I have 70 bullets in the mag, it means that I can shoot 70 bullets. No, you cannot even shoot 15 bullets without being absolutely dead at the highest level, because you have to consistently go for barricade, bubble, mesh, and all of that is taking away your ability to press left click with the weapon. Not only that, you're gonna be pushed, like, and the game is very fast paced. If you've played against really strong players and they catch you out of position, you just being erased from existence. Erased. Like, if you are in the middle of the nowhere and me and my teammate is looking at you, you are going to die or be severely wounded after 3 seconds of us looking at you. And the more severe your positional disadvantage is, the chances that we're just gonna pad on you and kill you, and you will not be able to not only shoot your 70 bullets, you will not be able to shoot any bullets. So the best thing you can do is, you know, think about it like that, right? What is the 70 bullets when you are being pushed by a shotgun? Like, there is nothing you can do. What is the 70 bullets when you're being outranged by LH1? Nothing. And then you only have like a mid-range, and even then the recoil kicks in and there is nothing you can do about it. It's just like, it's a disaster. M60 is a decent weapon, but it needs a buff. It needs a recoil buff, it needs an iron sight buff. I don't know what it needs, but it's just a bad weapon. Yes, it's A tier, you can still make it work, but realistically, how often are you gonna find yourself in a situation where you dominate with it? No, not often. FCAR has received some interesting changes, and I feel like this weapon is great. It is amazing. It is absolutely great. The biggest problem I see with FCAR right now is the fact that you absolutely hate playing against other heavies, right? So if you take a look at the time to kill numbers, it takes 1.1 second for a heavy player to kill you with a Lewis gun, maybe the same amount of time with shotgun if he's close, and it's gonna take you 1.6 second to kill him with the FCAR. So if you end up in a 1 versus 1 situation, not only heavy possesses better effective HP pool, which is going to be mesh, bubble, barricade, natural cover, as well as a medium heal if that's present, but also he has a lot more room for error, meaning that this guy is gonna, like, he can be a complete, absolute, utter idiot. He can, like, he can be the worst player on earth, but he can substitute that, he can hypercompensate that with pressing one button, and there is nothing you can do about it. Yes, you can push him, but this is gonna be very scary, very dangerous, because in two of the most popular compositions right now, double heavy medium and heavy medium light, you are the only medium, meaning that the heavy player can always be healed, but you will never be healed outside of the self-heal, which is gonna kick in 8 seconds. So even if you kill him, a person drops on you, kills you, defibs him, and this is a disaster. You lost the fight, you lost the game, GG, bro. And then we are going back to the same old, oh bro, but I can just play the distance. Yeah, try to play the distance in buildings, try to play the distance when people are padding on you and there is nowhere to run. Yeah, try to play the distance like that, of course, of course. But then again, SCAR is amazing. It's an amazing weapon. 25 bullets is great. I like the change. I feel like it's a lot more balanced, and developers consciously or subconsciously made it so every single weapon right now is completely playable. Pretty much every single, I mean, like, not every single weapon. AKM, SCAR, and Model 1887 are equally great to play on medium. There was never a moment in the history of the finals where that was the case. There was always some disbalances between the balance of the weapon, but now it is absolutely great. Outside of that, I feel like for a mediocre player, SCAR is going to be a lot better because of the iron sight, because of easier recoil, not a lot of visual recoil. It's just a laser gun weapon, bulletproof, idiot-proof. You still need to have good tracking, but then again, like, if you are competing against golds, silvers, or plats, it's not a big deal. Revolver is going to be the first B-tier weapon. It's not bad, but it's not good by any means. The weapon bloom is still here, recoil is terrible, visual recoil is terrible, as well as the fact that you don't shoot where you look, and then you don't look where you shoot, right? So maybe it has to do with bullet size, maybe it has to do with something else, but at the end of the day, Revolver is just absolutely, utterly terrible. You have to, like, it takes... Yes, you can headshot people, but realistically, how often do you headshot people in this game? Like, not often. Like, even I don't headshot people. I just aim for the body and go for, like, the confirmed kill, in comparison with me losing half of my bullets to the void because I think that I can be another Scream from CSGO, right? So, and another problem is that you shoot 6 bullets, okay, and now you have to reload for ages, and people can push you. And when you are reloading, you cannot heal, and when you are healing, you cannot reload. So there is a big problem in that as well, to the point where there is nothing you can do to save yourself, right? You shoot 6 bullets, person just eats that all with mesh shield, and now what? What are you gonna do about it? You're gonna cry about it on Reddit, saying that Revolver is a bad weapon? Well, maybe developers are gonna buff it next season. Who knows? But as of right now, no, absolutely terrible, utterly terrible. MGL32, like, do I need to say anything about this weapon? Maybe it's like right here. I don't know, I haven't even tested it out. I've never seen a single person in my 1000 hours dominate with MGL32. It is just not possible. You are terrible at breaking mesh. You are terrible because of your damage per magazine is very low. You are terrible because the weapon is completely unreliable and there is nothing you can do to save yourself when you are being pushed because of a goddamn long reload. Nothing you can do. Absolutely. You are terrible against light players that are just standing 10 meters away from you and shooting you for free because you cannot shoot back. And then overall, no, absolutely, utterly bad weapon. Please do not use MGL32. This is not the way to go. M11 is going to be another B tier weapon, the weapon that once was at the top of A tier, now with the meta shift has turned into a completely useless gun. Let me elaborate. M11 power is obviously close range, and if you would fundamentally take a look at your gunfights, light versus light, light versus medium, or light versus heavy, or if you are up against 2 players at the same time, no matter the class, you will quickly realize that you really don't want to get close to these people. Like, you really don't want to get close to the heavy with shotgun or with Lewis gun, because he can bubble, RPG, mesh, barricade. You really don't want to get close to mediums because sometimes they run mines, sometimes they run an APS, sometimes they run SCAR, AK, or Model 1887, and all of these weapons completely erase you from existence the closer you get to them. You don't want to get close to lights because they're gonna clap you with XP54 or LH1, depending on, like, if you would like to close up the distance, you're just gonna get out-distanced by LH1, and you're gonna get also out-distanced by XP54, because, like, I feel like from 15 meters, your gun just does not deal enough damage to really compensate for, like, the bad recoil, and it's just really, really difficult to do anything in that situation. So M11, I would have to place it B tier. I'm sorry, like, this is just not the weapon. If you want to go for a better weapon, like, sword is even better than M11, because realistically, would you be able to kill like 3 people with 1 mag with M11? No, but you can do that with sword. V9S, it's a decent weapon, but again, it was just a fraction of power it possessed in open beta. I don't find this weapon particularly attractive because of how much clicking you need to click in order to kill people. And not only that, like, there is a visual recoil, the iron sight is bad, so half of the time you don't even see where you are shooting, and then again, the range problem, right? It has more range than M11, and you're gonna be a lot more accurate, but if you take a look at time to kill, I feel like from 20 meters, a medium can just heal heavy and you will never be able to out-click the heal, which is atrocious, man. Like, why are you even on the map if you are using this weapon? And again, I just didn't see a single player dominate with it, so no, not it. Throwing knives fall in the same category, probably worse than all of these weapons, simply because of they are projectile based, very unreliable, incredibly difficult to put into use, and you end up in a situation where there is nothing you can do about it. You just throw it, and then Heavy just pulls up the mesh shield, and now you don't deal any damage. You cannot break utility effectively, you cannot shoot enemies from far, you cannot kill people that are running away from you and juking you because of how bad projectiles is in comparison with hit scan weapons. And fundamentally, no matter how much they buff this weapon, it's still going to be very, very mediocre. Unless developers are gonna mess up the code and make this weapon one tap, then throwing knives are gonna be absolute S tier. But outside of that, no, absolutely terrible. And now let's move on to something really interesting. Model 1887. Okay, bro. Okay, hear me out on this one. This weapon is insane. This weapon, I've never been dominated so hard, no matter what I play, how I play, or where I play. There are people that just casually run with this gun, and insanely fast you're getting erased from existence. Like, if you're playing light, it takes 2 bullets to kill you. If you're playing heavy, it takes 3 bullets to kill you. If you're playing medium, you can get 2 tapped as well. And then, well, if you're playing light, you can get 1 tapped up close and then just melee it and you're gonna die. And then... and then again, you take a look at the nature of cash outs and you quickly realize that, oh my god, every single one of them is in close quarter environments and people have to push you. And when they have to push you, you have positional advantage, you have range advantage. You can always avoid fighting up far, you have always movement. It's not like Apex where your movement is an ultimate ability. No, your jump pad is 30-second cooldown, your zipline is 30-second cooldown, and you can have multiple in the team. And then, like, not only that, but you just hold the cash, you chill, you wait for enemies to come, and then you outrange them. Like, I'm playing SCAR. How realistic it is for me to win a fight on Monaco building against you on Model 1887 if we both don't miss bullets, or if I miss bullets, or even if you miss bullets. It's really easy to dominate. You just like constantly line of sight me. And yeah, like the biggest advantage of a weapon like this is the fact that you can line of sight effectively, right? So you shoot, go back to natural cover, go back to Dagestan. You should go back to natural cover, shoot, go back, and with SCAR I have to constantly commit, I have to constantly be there, and I have to be stationary. With this weapon you just run around, you don't even need to aim with it, so it's incredibly broken, trust me. Like, if you haven't tried Model, best weapon in the game right now, 100%. Okay, hear me out on this one. Sledgehammer, top of A tier. They buffed it. They made it so now it pierces enemies, okay? Cash outs are in close quarter environment, okay? So you just right click a person and then you left click a person and it's a heavy and he dies. And then there is nothing you can do about it. Like, I would never believe my eyes what I'm actually like. Look at this tier list. It's a borderline psychotic, man. Like, how are these weapons at these places? But they actually are. This is a very solid tier list. I'm not making everything up. This is based. This is like, and not only I'm looking at my own skill bracket, which is like top 50 best players in the game probably, right? And not only that, I'm looking at the gold players, and then look, you take shotguns and then you dominate. You just close up the distance and kill everyone because they don't know how to shoot and they have worse gun than you. Like, bro, even takes people with, you would not believe, people with sledgehammers are just running at you and there is nothing you can do with SCAR. Like, what are you gonna do? You don't have the time to kill. You don't have 1.6 seconds to kill the person before he kills you, and then he receives heal, then he can place a barricade, he can charge and slam you, and it's just a disaster. Please, I wanna cry. Alright, so this is gonna be it for today's tier list. Let me know in the comment section what do you think. Make sure that you leave a like, comment. See you in the next one. Tomorrow we smash. No, tomorrow I'm gonna do an ability tier list, every single ability in the finals. I'm going to rate them from best to worst. So if you are curious about that, please let me know in the comment section. See you in the next one. Take care.